I forgot to do the countdown, so I'm doing the countdown now. I forgot to do the countdown, so you saw me just sitting there like a douche. Let's do live chat. I'm on early, and that's why you should set your alerts. You never know when I'm coming on. So nobody's going to join. It'll be interesting. It'll be fun talking to myself. I've got 2 thumbs up and 1 person in here. And I think that person is me. So let me do this. I do have to just clean up some stuff that I don't like people seeing. I mean, I was told that it's not appropriate, but it is what it is. So, there's that. There is that. There's that. Morning, Josh. There is that. There is that. There is that. There is that. There's Weeble. God, they're killing it on freaking graphics and promoting Steve Kress. Do Not Disturb is on. Okay. Good morning. So we're going to go over this. For paid newsletter subscribers, I have the last stocks of the stocks I love for Valentine's Day. I also, I will take a look. This was a fantastic video of, this guy is a guy who made $30 million in 1 year, doing what anybody else could do, literally. This was the video that got me started down this rabbit hole of this guy. How Chris Camillo turned $20,000 into $2 million. What everybody wants to do, I would assume. We will go over Coinbase. We will go over Twilio. We will go over Roku. We will go over DraftKings, Airbnb. Earnings are driving the stock market. Hey, defense has been a good... Larry! Defense has been a good sector. Maybe not no more. Why do I love Apple? Well, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Tim Cook teased. Quantum stocks. Remember Qubits and D-Wave? Quantum bits. Qubit, QBTS. Yeah. That's the one that Steve Kress recommended. We will look at Robinhood price targets. I can't believe this, but is it worth buying? Let's look at that one. Hims, you know, hey, listen, fat people can't see the penises. But if you get Hims, you got GLP-1 and you got boner pills. WeRide is, and another stock are just taking off, and we'll look at those things. GameStop with Bitcoin. I'll give my thoughts on that one. February. Last 2 weeks of February. We're going to talk about that one. Ryan Dietrich, who I've been on Spaces with. Fantastic, fantastic chart master. App loving is what it is. and why you don't want to trust a douche on the internet. Because, hey, I'm a guy who doesn't wear Crocs, but Crocs is in. Yeah, Penny showed some love for Daisy this morning. So I'm gonna start out early because I got to get done. Just so if anybody isn't aware, yeah. Well, I'll get into it in the podcast. I'm gonna start recording. There are 8 people in here. 10 people. 8 thumbs up. That's a good thing. Hit the thumbs up button. Let's see. Hit the. Let's do a thumb emoji. And we'll pin this message. Pin message. There we go. Hit the thumbs up button now. Okay, here we go. Good morning. It's an early morning. It's February 14th. Pre-market, what are we doing? I mean, we're down. It's down a little bit. It's not down by much. It's down. Yesterday, I mean, we had a good day. We're going to go over why you don't trust a douche on the internet. We are going to go over what the second half of February means. We are going to go over Meta, 19th day in a row. We're going to go over GameStop, a stock that NVIDIA just invested in and just got a contract. We'll go over boner pills with GLP-1. Fat people can't see their penises, but now they can also get erections with GLP-1 and boner pills from a certain company that has been just rising. Hood, quantum stocks. We will go over Apple. We'll go over defense stocks and then all the earnings. Let's talk about this. Why am I starting early? Well, for those people that don't know, I'm a grass geek, and I got to get down some pre-emergent and some preen in my beds because tomorrow we just had a ton of rain in the Atlanta area, and tomorrow I'm getting pine straw installed. So your boy doesn't like to do pine straw. I pay for it to get installed. And I overtip and hey, be kind to anybody that does work that you don't want to do. Overtip. Absolutely give them extra money and make sure that you buy them lunch and buy them pizza and do whatever you would want them to do to you. Qs, where are we? Yesterday, it was a good day. Hey, look, 2 green candles. You opened up 5:30, you closed 5:31, 5:35. Not bad. I mean, you're down in pre-market. Again, we talked about this, how on the weekly, you're stretched. You're on the stretch, on the Qs. Now, I get a lot of people asking me, well, where do you think the stock market? And nobody knows. Nobody knows. If I knew where the stock market was going, if I knew anything more than I would be a much wealthier man than I am today. And I would have much more people coming to me and saying, oh my God, where do you think it's going? Recently I got asked about Crocs. I told them, you know what? I'm a dude who wears Skechers. I don't like Crocs. What do I know? Stock was up 20% yesterday. Okay? Stock was up 20% on the earnings. It's just an amazing, amazing thing. And still cheap. I mean, Crocs is still cheap. It was up 23% yesterday. 23%. Valuation? I mean, the PE is only 8. Sector's at 15. What did I say? I said I like Skechers much better. Skechers, the valuation, 15. Their growth, not great, just as bad as Crocs is. So what's the number one? It's Deckers. And Deckers has seen a decline from, let's see, $223. It's trading at $158, and they just had their earnings. So it's not like this is one, again, you pick your battles. You pick your battles. I got a Venmo last night from a listener who invested in DraftKings because I posted that DraftKings has great seasonality around February and around the Super Bowl. And what they do in earnings last night, they're up 5%. They're tipping at that $50 mark. Okay? $40 was the support. 50, if you just put a line across at 50, where's 50? Let's see. This one's around $50. And it's trading in pre-market of $48.90. And I got a nice Venmo. Makes me feel good. But it tells me, hey, there's some people who actually listen to me. So if you're one of those people who does listen to me and says, oh, I just asked him about a stock. Remember, I'm the guy who sold Shopify at 80. Where's Shopify right now? 126. I'm the guy who sold Palantir at 25. Where's that? 116. So before you think I know exactly what I'm doing, I don't. I just don't. You know who does? AlphaPix. AlphaPix. Remember, AlphaPix, AppLovin. We can talk about AppLovin yesterday. AlphaPix is a portfolio that you can buy, and over the long term, it has proven to be a solid investment portfolio. And they tell you when to buy, they tell you when to sell. Social requests are fine. But if I turn it right back around to you and say, why haven't you bought this stock yet? Why haven't you bought AppLovin? And if you say, well, it's too expensive to me, it's still a hold in AlphaPix. So don't be surprised if I turn right back around and see, why haven't you bought this before? What social requests are looking for, to me, is confirmation that you made a right decision either not buying or buying when the reality is you did or did not do the action. Remember, when you buy something, you should know when you're going to sell it. The answer might be never. The answer might be a dollar amount. The answer might be, I'll revisit in a week or a month. The answer also might be a percentage. But whenever you buy or sell anything in this market, just remember, there's a buyer or a seller on the other end who thinks you're making a wrong decision. You're going to have to do the research yourself. That's what this entire podcast is about. And if you don't want to do the research for yourself, AlphaPix is it. Today is the last day of this sale. What do you get when you buy AlphaPix? You get 60 days of Seeking Alpha Premium for free. So not only do you get a great portfolio that you can, you can just buy and sell when they tell you to. Remember, it's on the 1st and the 15th. We're going to have one that comes up on Monday. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy 1% of the portfolio. It's a very simple process. Over here on Linktree, okay? It's the 4th link. Just go down there. Now, if you already know that you want Seeking Alpha Premium and AlphaPix, I got a question from last night from a listener who says, hey, I listen every day and you mentioned premium, AlphaPix. There's no premium AlphaPix. There's 3 things that I sell, okay? 2 of them are Seeking Alpha related. There is Seeking Alpha Premium, which is the quant and which is where you do your own research. And then there's the second thing, which is AlphaPix, which is the portfolio. You can get both of them and save $159. If you think you just want AlphaPix, you're going to get a free 60-day trial of Seeking Alpha Premium. The better deal is just to go with the bundle. And the third thing that I sell is Trendspider, and that's the charting program. That's where you have standard, premium, or enhanced. And you can try this for as little as $20. What I suggest is go and find, pay the $49. Okay? Pay the $39. Pay the the $29. Pay the $19. Pay whatever you want. And I think you're going to try out for the weekend and try the Weinstein plan. Go to Trendspider's Twitter page and just import some of their custom indicators and look how it performs on the stocks. Okay? So when you're asking me about stocks, just remember, there is a portfolio that you can buy that is back tested and proven. I talk about it all the time. Back testing is the most important thing. I have a lot of money in this portfolio. It's working out for me. Some people may say it's not working out for them. I think you're managing it incorrectly. I tried to do the pick. For 8 months, I tried to do, okay, they're going to send me a pick on the 1st and the 15th. I'm going to decide if I'm going to buy it. I'm going to try and time it. Didn't work out for me for 8 months. 8 months. I back tested it myself. Okay, what does work for me since October, November, and December, since I started buying in lots, I treat it like an ETF and I bought lots. So I had additional capital and I put more money into this portfolio. What has worked is treating it like I'm getting into VOO or QQQ and then adding to your winners. AppLovin, I will absolutely add to this winner. I will wait 3 days to see if this gap is backfilled. I will wait 3 days to see if the gap between 387 and 450 is filled. You can see yesterday we got to 525. Where are you trading right now? 471. It has 525 in the stock. It has $525 in the stock. So we know that AppLovin was driven by earnings. We know that the stock market is driven by earnings, okay? You are here. You are here in the middle of February. The second half of February can be tough trouble. Okay? S&P index returns in February. This goes from 1950 to 2024. Okay? There is back testing involved in this. That is the performance of the S&P. Does it mean that, oh my God, you get out? No. Look at the numbers on the left. It's 0.5% through the middle of February, down to 0% in the second half. So more than likely, you give back. What is the market that we're in right now? Earnings. We're in earnings season. Go to Earnings Hub and look at next week. Do we have huge earnings next week? Some. Carvana, Toast. New, Rivian, Melly, XYZ, Vici, Booking Holdings, Devon Energy, Shift 4, Occidental Petroleum. Not as big as last week. Builders First Resource, Cameco, Alibaba, Walmart. You're slowing down on earnings. What's going to happen? Well, as you slow down on earnings in the second half of February, the last week of February, great earnings week. You got SMCI, you got Intuit, okay? You got HIMS, Boner Pills. You got SoundHound, you got Rocket Labs, you got Dell. You've got a good earnings, but it's not the Titans. We're through the Mag 7. We're through the large portion of this. These will be stocks that will still move. Will a stock like this drive the actual market? NVIDIA might. Salesforce might. Snowflake might. But there are very few. We're already through that. So I think when Ryan says, hey, we may be through the worst of this one, look, the second half of February tends to be very weak. Again, in February, you can see his month-by-month comparison there. But what does that mean? Well, the S&P is about to be up more than 3% year to date. Okay? Happy Valentine's Day. Why does this matter? This happened 32 other times. And the rest of the year was higher, 30 out of 32. That's nearly 94% for the rest of the year. If you're waiting to get in, timing the market doesn't work. Time in the market does work. More than likely, if you buy now, you will be up by the end of the year. He's calling, he's calling for a 10 to 15% upside from here. Remember, the last 2 years, we had like 20+% in the S&P. So 10% may not seem like a lot. I'll take 10%. I'm going to put money in. He also mentioned there seems to be an army of traders who are taking certain names like Palantir, Hood, and others. Constant optimism. Speaking of that, Meta had its 19th day of straight gains. I don't know why the daily candles don't look that way, but 19th day of straight gains, it's a record. It's a record. Meta is just one of those stocks. This is what's driving the communication sector. Again, if we go over here and we look at market data, you can see the communication sector, and we can see year to date, boy, that's the number one. You go to XLC, and then you go to holdings. What's the number one? It's Meta. 21% of this is Meta. Alphabet is, 16%? So you've got 38% of this. And then you add in Netflix, and it's 40%. Those have been high movers. That's what's driving the communication sector. So Ryan's just pointing out, hey, while February is going to be tough, don't manage your portfolio by week to week or day to day. Manage it by year to year. And so when you get in, timing the market beats time in the market beats timing the market. That's the point. GameStop. Don't say I didn't tell you. Don't say I didn't tell you. It's up 10%. You know why? They're considering Bitcoin and other crypto. I said this on Wednesday. It's now Friday. You know, if they get into GameStop, if GameStop gets into Bitcoin, understand it changes this company. Doesn't make them immediately a great company, but it changes this company. So keep an eye out for that one. Speaking of crazy, you know, there's a couple ones. We can go into a 5-minute and we can go into an after hours and we can look at some stock movers. FFIE, we're going to put this into 5-minute and pre-market. Okay, look at this one. This one yesterday opened up at $1.49. Where'd it close? $1.79. That's a fantastic move. It's a fantastic move. In pre-market, you're up 10%. This one in pre-market, let's see, at 4 a.m., it opened up at $1.80. You rode to 228. You know, you can use the 5-minute algorithm that I provide to subscribers. Let's see, there's an A+ strategy in here. I know that this is what it is. I hate the exit, but I love the entrance. 147 right there. Could have ridden it all day yesterday. You had some confirmation. You could have bought it here at 150. You had confirmation. I hate the exit. Sell at 173 because you lost confirmation. Okay? Just got you in at $1.92 just now. Wait for confirmation. Look at the MACD. Look at the RSI. Is this one going? Another one that we're going to look at, it's called WeRide. Okay, WeRide is selected for autonomous driving project in Switzerland. This just came out at 6:32 a.m. You know, it came out at 7:29. WeRide jumps after NVIDIA discloses a position in it. WDR? Let's see. WDR, do I have the symbol? No. Is it WDR? Let's see. WeRide is WRD. Sorry, WRD. WRD. Let's look at this stock, WRD, because it is just soaring. Could you do something in the 5-minute algorithm? Absolutely. Could you have gotten in when, 6:30 a.m. when it opened up and the candle was 15%? Absolutely. You had confirmation. When you got that news at 6:30 and you saw that candle confirmation at $23, you could have ridden it all the way up here to what, $38? It lost confirmation right now. But this one opened up at 29 to 27. It's getting halted left and right. But you can trade it. Again, looking at things like that, if you want to do it, you absolutely can. It's your choice. And speaking of crazy stuff, HIMS. This is a company that will sell you GLP so that you can see your boner if you're too big. It's boner pills. It's a compounding pharmacy. I went over this with some folks on Spaces yesterday. Stock Sniper, he said he thinks it's going to 60. I think this is a simple short squeeze. I don't think this is anything more than that. But the algorithm got you in here at 27. At $27. Okay? Could have put in 25 as your stop loss because that was providing some support and resistance back there. Okay, where did I get that? If you go back here and you see resistance. Okay, we can go to a weekly and we can look at it. It was the 2021 high. And then you see it in here in 2024, it bounced right off of it. Now you're seeing it just take off and you're seeing it use 25 as support. So on the 4-hour algorithm, you can absolutely see it. Would I ever buy into this one? No. And the reason is, I think it's a short squeeze. But 26% short interest here. 26%. It's right on the front page of Seeking Alpha. Again, if you have Seeking Alpha, you get this for free. The marketing, the market info, you get the sliders right here. You get the earnings per share. The valuation's an absolute F. Everything else is an absolute A. It's up 1% in pre-market. It was up 27% yesterday. Okay, two things. So I do think this is a short squeeze, but Make America Healthy Again platform to be a top priority for RFK. This is key. This is key, okay? Even though I joke with this little guy, this particular story is key because HIMSS is a compound pharmacy. So what does the administration want to do? They want to lower prices for medications to consumers. They want to lower Medicare costs. What does that? A compound pharmacy. And right now, GLP-1 and boner pills are compounded through HIMSS. Okay? And they're cheaper than the brand names. Significantly cheaper than the brand names. Right now, they're able to compound GLP-1 because of the FDA's rule that if there's a shortage, they can compound. I don't think the administration's going to ever adhere to that. And so you've got two things. You've got short interest and you've got the administration not really, boning up on this one per se. So I like it. Am I getting into it? Doesn't fit my risk tolerance. Doesn't fit my risk tolerance. Another one that doesn't fit my risk tolerance is Hood. But when you take a look at Hood, okay, and the 4-hour algorithm, again, we're talking about Trendspider. When you sign up for an annual plan, you get the 4-hour algorithm. Look at how it trades with Hood. Okay, 29. It got you in here. You're trading at 63 right now. In pre-market, you're at 63. $29. Got you in here at 40. We got a nice little gap here between 56 and 60. But look at these price targets, okay? Hood, $105. Okay? Hood, $90. Hood, $80. Hood, 77, 76, 75, 75, 70, 60. Citibank is the only one that's near 60, and JP Morgan raised their price target from 39 to 45. There are two of those that are lower. So when we go and we look at Hood, is it a buy? For me, no. I don't like the way they treated their customers during the whole GameStop stuff, and I will stick to that. Am I missing out? Absolutely. But at some point in time, I just think that you've got to have some conviction in this. Is it expensive? Absolutely, it's expensive. The growth, unheard of. It's number 5 out of 24. What's number 1? Schwab. Is Schwab going to outpace Hood? Probably not, but it's a better buy. It's a strong buy in the quant. And you can see it just turned to a strong buy. Do I think that this one is a great buy? The price target's 89 from Wall Street. For me, Schwab is a much safer play. Safer, again, what's your risk tolerance? Do you want to be in the safe or do you want to be in the high flyer? That's just my pick. And again, it's all about risk tolerance. Quantum computing stocks in focus. Okay? QBTS was up 7% yesterday. It was up 7% yesterday. They're back. Remember, this is one of Steve Kress's favorite ones. If you go and you look, Steve Kress is in one of these quantum stocks. He did an analysis of quantum stocks. You can go and find it. Type in quantum stocks, quantum, and Steve Kress. Let's look. People. Let's see. Oh, he's in there. Stephen Kress Quant Team. There you go. And you can read all about his analysis on quantum stocks. He's got it. Let's see. QBTS. Oh, is QBTS? Let's see. QUBT is the one that he picked. Okay. Quantum to me. Quantum computing to the moon. He did it. And you can find all of this on Seeking Alpha. It's such a great site. Now, why do I like Apple? Tim Cook teases launch of iPhone SE. Is this going to be the upgrade cycle that everybody talked about? It was up 1.97% yesterday. What's Apple's price target from Wall Street? Wall Street says it's worth $252. We have gotten all the way to $260. Is it a buy? Valuation is crazy. This is still my stock. Still my stock. Short interest? Nobody's shorting this thing. Market cap, $3.6 trillion. It's close to $4 trillion. Again, Apple, to me, Apple plans to unveil AI features in China. by mid-year. This is a news cycle stock. It will go up and it will go down based on news cycles. That's it. You know what's news cycles? Trump talking about tariffs. Now he's talking about defense stocks slide after Trump's comments on spending cuts. He's talking about reducing the defense spending by 50%. Defense stocks have been on a great tear. They were down 2 or 3% yesterday. If you believe in these stocks, don't get out of them. But I'm just telling you, your stocks are not safe if they are in the purvey of the administration. He will put out a tweet and it will move those stocks. So make sure you're comfortable with the volatility that you can get. And the biggest movers yesterday, it's all earnings. Airbnb jumped 14%. Roku, 11%. Roku in pre-market is up 15%. Okay, DraftKings gained 5%. The one down that we're going to look at, Twilio. Buy the damn dip. Twilio's still a strong buy in the quant. Okay, the valuation, little bit stretched. High PE. The growth, fantastic. You can go and read some of the summaries from the call. They outlined 2025 target. They lightened up on their guidance. Sandbag. It's down 10%. Down 10%. Is this a buy the dip opportunity? Well, look at it coming into, okay? They pre-announced good guidance here. That's what made it jump. That's what made it jump when they pre-announced on January 24th that, hey, we're going to have some good guidance. And they did it at a conference. Now take a look at the weekly. Where's it pulled back to? Right now it's trading, let's see, it's trading at 134. Ironic, isn't it? The 200 days at 126. If we pull this up in pre-market and we just say, hey, okay, where is it? Did it get down to 126? It's gotten down to 130. I would say 126 is probably within the stock move today. At some point in time, if you put in an order for 126, you may hit. Buy the dip. I do think you buy the dip. The algorithm has you in here at 112. This gap goes all the way down to 114. You could fill that gap all the way down to 114. But I would like, for me, I'm going to start adding to it down here. It ran up too much to justify a light guidance. The RSI is at 85. It was overbought. This is simply some profit taking. That's it. So to me, again, it's a strong buy. I like the stock. Buy the dip. Coinbase. They just blew it away. I think they were expecting like $1. I mean, let's go over here and look at Coinbase. Let's look at this week. And let's, 2 weeks. We're going to go back to coin. They were estimated to, let's see, $1.83. It was $1.81. They reported $3.39. 1.83 billion estimate, 2.27 billion. They blew it out of the water. You would expect this one to be flying. It flew up into earnings. Okay? 4 hour, you can see it flew up. Algorithm gets you in at 291. Where are you trading right now? 291. 291. And it's only 8 o'clock in the morning. We can pull up this pre-market and you'll see it just does. It ran up into the earnings. It was all over the place and it's lost steam. And the reason was it was up all day yesterday. Again, I like stocks that look weak into earnings, that blow away earnings because you get that move with the earnings. DraftKings is what it is. It's going to $50. We talked about DraftKings before, the seasonality of DraftKings. You can see if we pull that up 100% over the last 4 years in February. We can look at the weekly. Again, this is what Trendspider gives you. 100% during the last 4 years during this week with earnings after the Super Bowl. Again, find the tools that give you the help. Palo Alto Networks. This one had earnings. It was good. Wasn't great. They're down 5%. Would I buy it? Absolutely. You can take a look at the long term of this one. This is one that's continuing up. It's got 188 as its resistance level. This one closed yesterday at 201. Okay, it's down 5%. Get it under 200 because it will go over 200. It's the top cybersecurity stock. Roku, we talked about how Kathy Woods yesterday bought a ton of Roku. Did you follow Kathy Woods? Maybe. Take a look at the weekly. Roku's not loved. This one's up at 98. It was over $100. It's at $98. It's up 13%. Look at that. The loss was smaller than expected. That's all it is. So find stocks that you like and do it. Now, social request. Gary, I've been looking at NU for a while now, and I just haven't pulled the trigger. This is from Adam on email. Do you think it would be smart to get in before earnings on February 20th? My question to you, Adam, is why haven't you gotten in? Why? I mean, why? The answer lies within you. Why haven't you gotten in? When it was $10 on the algorithm, when it was $14, when it was $15, why haven't you gotten into this one? When it dipped down like this on the weekly, when it got under the 50-day, why haven't you gotten in? That would be my question. If you want to get in before earnings, why? Do you think they're going to blow it away on earnings? I mean, is that the question? What paints to you? Again, have your thesis. You don't tell me why you haven't gotten in. What's your theory on this one? What price would you like to see it go to after earnings? If you're buying at 13 today, where do you think it's going to? 16, because that's the 52-week high. It's number 14 out of 66. I would look at the AI report and I would say, okay, let me look at this one. Mercado Libre, Intra, Pagsuro. This isn't within my realm. This one was just done 2 days ago on 2/12. So you can read this AI report and find out exactly what people think about it. This isn't something that I've ever invested in. Do I watch these earnings? No. Do I think this is a good buy? I have no idea. But my question to you, Adam, is why didn't you get into it? And if you're going to buy it before earnings, why would you? So here's my guidance on this one. If I'm worried about a stock and I haven't gotten into it before earnings, I'm waiting till after the earnings. Because if you haven't gotten in before earnings, what makes you think that this one's going to all-time highs now? You weren't buying this one in 2023 where it was $3. You've been waiting to get in. Why? So if you're just waiting a day before earnings, you're gambling. So if you like the company, if you're trading it on a technical, trade it on a technical, okay? Use the 4-hour algorithm. Use the 65-minute algorithm. Use some type of technical trading. It doesn't tell me, your question doesn't tell me, hey, I'm trading this on a technical. The 65-minute algorithm that I provide you, over 8 months, you make 40%. Buying and holding makes you 18%. So if you're getting in before earnings, absolutely, 1369 right there. You win 36% of the time. Your average win 3%. So if you're getting in, absolutely get in. But if you're waiting, this is a long-term buy and you think that the stock is going to pop on earnings and you just want to trade it, you better have more than a thesis on that one because earnings on stuff like this is dangerous. And what I would do is say you want $1,000 into this stock, buy 10% for the next 10 days. Don't worry about earnings. If it's a long-term buy, don't worry about earnings. Just know what you're going to buy. So, Shohan on Spotfiy, would you please share your thoughts on Vertiv? Same thing. My thoughts on Vertiv, I own it. I'm not an expert on a stock, okay? A very good story is to Stanley Druckenmiller, who listened to a guy, the president of Argentina, speak at Davos, and then went on Perplexity and said, give me 5 Argentinian ETFs, and he bought them. You don't have to be an expert on a stock to own it, but you have to have an elevator pitch. The only thing I know about this stock, and I've gone over it before, is the cooling racks. That's it. There are tools out there, free or paid. VRT has been a buy for me based on that. I read some analyst articles on it. It's expensive. I looked at the charts. I like where I bought it. You know, the 4-hour algorithm right here, it got me in. Did I get out? No. I used it to enter the stock. But I'm not an expert on this, Shohan. If you want to give me, if you want an expert on something like that, that's Shai Bular. I'm just a guy who basically buys. Look, that gap right there, it's going to get filled. Algorithm got you out. That stock, this range right here between 90 and 109, I like it. I like it to buy. I think I'm in at 60. So do I care about this fluctuation? No. That's the thing. If you're not in this stock, why? And the reason is because, again, your risk tolerance is different than mine. So what do I think about it? I like it. I own it. That should be enough. Other than that, you can go and do the same exact research that I do. Go over here. It's a hold in the quant. Okay, same exact thing. It's been a hold in the quant. It's been a hold, and the only reason is because of the valuation. It's extremely expensive. So we go to analyze with AI, and we go down, and we look, valuation is notably stretched. For example, its PE of 82 is significantly higher than the sector at 24, indicating a very expensive stock. The price to book of 25 is far above the sector median of 3, suggesting overpricing compared to peers. This was done on 2/12, 2 days ago. So am I going to do more than that? No. I mean, honest to God, I like the stock and I like the story, and that's it. Now, if you go to a weekly, it's stretched. It's absolutely stretched. Am I worried about it? No. It's a long-term buy and hold for me. So that's essentially it. I mean, when you ask me about a stock, I think what you're asking me for, Roaring Kitty, for instance. Okay, let's bring up the meme stock, King, Roaring Kitty. He does a ton of research. I don't. I decide, okay, I like this stock. I'm going to find an entry. I'm going to find a strategy, and I put that strategy in. My strategy cannot be yours. Cannot. The podcast is not about giving you a strategy. It's about giving you an opportunity to find your strategy. My risk tolerance, if you don't have 60% of your portfolio up to 70% in one stock, you're not me. And if that stock is an Apple, you're not me. So understand, that's the difference between when you ask me about a stock, I'm going to give you my thoughts, but I also could be the guy that leads you into Crocs. Leads you, if you're going to listen to me, then you're going to have to understand you may lose money. And you very well may get the wrong decision. So understand when you ask me about things that you're really asking for some type of confirmation that's within you. When Adam asked me about new and he didn't get in, it tells me you shouldn't get in because you may lose sleep at night if you get in. Buy VOO, buy QQQ. I have friends who VOO and QQQ makes them lose sleep. Go and buy a treasury bond. Go and put your money into a savings account. Again, that's the difference. Now, I loved these videos, okay? I researched this guy a ton. Chris Camillo, he turned $20,000 into $20 million. This was just yesterday. It was Graham Stephan's podcast, and he goes over everything. Stupid simple. He did what everybody else could have done. He's not a genius. He talks about it. He doesn't look at charts. He doesn't look at PE. He looks at stories. Okay? This is the first video. He talks about how he did it. Super simple. And if you want to watch the full podcast, it's up there on YouTube. It is a great thing to watch. Again, the guy's worth like $200 million today. And one of the things that he did during, he talks about it, where he, during COVID, he was actually using Google Translate to translate Chinese articles on COVID when the news story started to break. And then he said, I'm going to buy puts on the S&P. And he started buying puts. And he said for 3 weeks, he was constantly just buying weekly puts, losing money. He said he lost about 30% of his net worth because he had such conviction. He didn't look at the chart. He didn't do any other research. He just simply did that. Okay? It was like The Big Short, where they lost money for years before they made the big win. It's common sense investing with an elevator pitch. He invested in Shopify, Amazon, and Peloton because they were basically stay-at-home stocks. So for the paid newsletters to subscribers today, I'm going to go into more detail into things like this. I'm going to go more in detail into Chris, into his strategy, what he thinks the top industry is going forward, what his podcast is. Okay, what his main investment focus of investments right now is, and the stock that he thinks could do a tremendous gain over the next 10 years. I think he said $10 trillion, if I remember. But I geeked out, and I went down a rabbit hole with Chris Camillo last night, and I found all of his links. I watched all of his videos, and I used tools that I have at my disposal that you have at your disposal to do all the research on him. And I'm going to follow him into a trade. Again, I geeked out on it. And then finally, for the paid subscribers, I'm going to give you the final 5 stocks of love. I forgot to give them to everybody, but I'm going to give you the final 5 stocks of love because it's Valentine's Day. And after this, it makes no sense to give you those things. So if you have any questions, hit me up. Again, for the paid subs, I'll be doing a little bit more in a little bonus section. Okay, take care. See you guys. Have a great Valentine's Day weekend. Have a great, whatever you decide to do. We're going to have steak at some point, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'll make pasta. I'm the housewife of the family, so that's it. Okay, have fun. Penny says happy Valentine's Day. See you guys. Bye. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, who's texting me? Oh, nobody. Okay. Let me see. iMovie. Pull this up. We'll throw this in, and then I'm gonna go do the paid newsletter subscriber. Wah, wah. Oh, come on. There we go. Let's see. Wah, wah, wah. Okay. Oh. Let me see. Okay. We're going to put that in green screen. And we're going to put that in green screen. And we're going to put this in, and we're going to say green screen. Okay, and export. This is the 214 pod free. Yeah, exactly, Nathaniel. I like Vertiv. I mean, there's nothing that I can tell anybody that, I have insider information or I have any more information other than they do cooling racks. And for me to actually tell somebody something else is just me kind of fronting and trying to be a big shot. And I'm just not a big shot. Twilio, I think you buy the dip. I mean, we've seen Twilio has a lot more room to run on this stock. And I think as they start to turn positive, and it's a great software. Again, I use this software. I just think it got overbought. RSI on the weekly is at 85. And I think if you start to see the RSI come down into the 60s, I think you should start adding to it. And today, I mean, it's down 10% at 133. I think if you see it get to under 128, I think you start to add to it. I mean, look at that gap that when they pre-announced it, that's at 114. There's no volume. There's no volume there. Nothing. So now that you're in the 120, 133, if you break that 133 when the market opens, look out below. I mean, just look out below because you're going to 118. So I think that's a good one. And Vertiv is a great one to SMCI. I'd rather have Vertiv than SMCI. But, you know, that's pre-whatever. So, okay, I'm going to go do the live one. Or I'm sorry, the paid one right now with a couple of stuff. So I will talk to you guys Monday. Thanks for joining early. See you guys.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.